I'm fine.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm fine.
It's a Hollywood problem we have all become so used to. One moment, a character sits at the dinner table each week, and the next, they disappear.
Ooh, parked in my space.
No media coverage, just simply disappear. These are 15 TV characters that mysteriously disappeared without saying goodbye. And as a bonus, I'll share why Chuck Cunningham Syndrome is a real thing. So, sit back and let's rewind time. Number 1. Friends is probably the most watched and beloved sitcom ever created. While Joey, Ross, and Rachel carried the series for decades, one key plot never truly finished. This is the story of Ben Geller. Ben was the firstborn of Ross's first marriage with Carol. Since his birth, he's been a recurring character, often just spicing up a few things and rattling the cage. But Ben was truly a major part of Ross's life, and even though he was only seen on special occasions, he was truly stuck in the back of everyone's minds. Yet when Emma was born a few seasons later, Ben suddenly disappeared. He wasn't the older brother everyone expected, and from season 8, he was barely even mentioned again, almost like Ross had simply forgotten about his son. This left everyone with plenty of questions. Did Ross just forget about his son? Or did Carol and Susan move away without telling anyone? It is one of the mysterious disappearances that have Friends fans scratching their heads, and we don't know why they wrote him out. So, why did he leave? According to the producers, it was just hard to work with the child actor. But the next one might sting a little for fans of political drama. Number 2. From sitcom families to the high-stakes world of DC, our next vanished star is Mandy Hampton from The West Wing, played by the fantastic Moira Kelly. She originally portrayed the character from season 1, being one of the sharpest, no-nonsense political consultants that the show had ever seen.
Are you crazy?
Mandy!
Have you lost your mind?
Why don't we go up to my office?
Why did you make that deal?
Mandy, I don't think you can leave your
Shut
car right
up!
here.
Why did you make that deal?
In fact, her work on the Bartlett campaign was something special before bringing the same fire into the White House as a media specialist. Unlike other cast members that vanish, Mandy was part of a major storyline, specifically the leaked memo angle.
Mandy wrote an opposition research memo for Russell, and somebody's got it.
Who?
CJ's finding out.
And her part in the communications team was nothing short of impressive. Fans took a liking to the star, with her cynical presence and observations that truly showed how women had a role in politics. This was emphasized by great chemistry with CJ Craig and Josh Lyman. Yet as season 2 began, Mandy Hampton was just gone. No explanation, no public announcements. She simply vanished in front of our eyes. What's even scarier is the fact that none of the other characters even seemed to realize she was gone, and her departure left many unanswered questions. Why? Well, that's up for debate, with the most common rumor suggesting the writers didn't know where to go with her character and simply cut her out. Perhaps the labyrinth of corridors in the White House got her a little lost, and she simply vanished into the Hollywood vortex. But what happens when a doctor simply disappears? Number 3. Switching gears to the hilariously chaotic Sacred Heart Hospital, one of the greatest short-lived characters who simply vanished is none other than Dr. Grace Miller from the hit comedy series Scrubs.
Oh, there's so much blood. I hope it doesn't get on my dress.
Many might know Bellamy Young better for her role as President Melly Grant from Scandal, but she quickly became a beloved star in Scrubs. In fact, she was a force to be reckoned with, being a surgeon and a tough mentor figure for Turk.
So, you guys my new residents?
I could tell what the guys were thinking.
Her sharp, demanding, and often intimidating appearance pushed Turk to become one of the greatest surgeons ever, and she embodied the strong character with flair and precision. Yet, she was mostly seen as a recurring character for the first few episodes. Then, as Turk developed into the character we all love, she simply vanished from the screen. In one episode, she was there, and the next, she was simply gone, never to be seen or mentioned on screen ever again. No one truly knows what happened. Perhaps she transferred to a different hospital, or took a bit of a sabbatical. According to the production team, Bellamy Young wasn't part of the core cast, and the write-off was just a natural way to write the character out. But before we get on to the next one, just a little warning, it might trigger some painful memories. Number 4. Orange is the New Black took television screens by storm when it first came out in 2013.
Pat downs are mandatory now.
we are not talking about the main stars. Rather, one scrawny little prison guard at Litchfield Penitentiary, who notoriously had a relationship with inmate Daya Diaz. This is none other than John Bennett, who had a few very important storylines during the first few seasons, where he even had a kid with one of the inmates. Yet, his personal struggles with the moral and ethical part of their bond were clearly visible on screen. What made him truly spectacular was that he even stood up and accepted his responsibilities, willing to be a father. But then, something stunning happened, as Daya's mother became involved and applied some pressure.
You ever even held a baby? Changed the diaper? You want to make that kid live in a shithole with 5 other people?
Bennett simply got in his car and drove off, leaving Daya pregnant in prison. That was it. He was never seen again, and didn't even send as much as a letter or a phone call to Daya. He became the stereotypical deadbeat dad, abandoning his girlfriend and his responsibilities. Fans would never be able to figure out why he was suddenly written off the screen. But the actor Matt McGorry did mention schedule clashes with his new series, How to Get Away with Murder. Ultimately, it felt like a gut punch with a fate that was never truly resolved. Number 5. If you are talking about disappearing acts,
That means it's time to buy a new one, okay?
Okay, this isn't about the milk, is it, Carrie? No, this is about me losing that set of house keys with your address on it.
few have been as instantaneous as that of Sarah Spooner from the early days of The King of Queens. Portrayed by the lovely Lisa Riefel, Sarah only had a few scenes in the first few episodes of the series, living with Doug and Carrie in their tiny house and sharing rooms with her father, Arthur. Her role was simple and almost similar to that of Penny in The Big Bang Theory, being a struggling actress always looking for a break, but mostly contributing to the chaos of the Heffernan household. Judging by her character, she was set up as part of the core living situation, being a great source of comedy for the crowd. But just a few episodes into season 1, she simply vanished off screen. No explanation was given, and the rest of the household functioned like she never even existed. It was so bad that at some point, it felt like Carrie was the only child. It was later revealed that the writers felt they couldn't develop her character, and that the household made more sense with just a single kid. Number 6. Judy Winslow is another truly beloved sitcom character, played by the adorable Jamie Foxworth.
This is junk mail. Hey, you're new in this profession. You've got to start at the bottom. I was born at the bottom.
The youngest of the Winslow clan, and Steve Urkel's occasional target for mishaps.
Hi, everybody.
I could have sworn I locked that door.
I took the liberty of making my own key.
Judy was what you'd call your typical sitcom sister. What made Judy special is how she slotted in with the family dynamic and continued driving the show forward.
Mom, I hate tarts.
We all do, honey.
But as the show progressed, something shifted, with Urkel becoming a lead, stealing the show with his inventions and catchphrases. Judy just slowly phased out, her screen time dwindled, and eventually, she wasn't even seen in the background anymore. Then season 4 rolled around, and she simply vanished. No one gave any explanation, leaving many fans of the hit show to wonder exactly what happened. Maybe she went to live with her aunt, or perhaps something happened, but we didn't get a single explanation for her disappearance. Fans even theorized it was the Urkel black hole, and that he became so big, he basically sucked some of the characters out of existence. But the real reason cited was creative differences between Jaleel White and budget cuts from the studio. It's a prime example of a show changing so much that a core family member just gets written out without a single farewell scene. But from the world of Family Matters to something a little more supernatural, the next one came as an absolute shock. Number 7. Fans of the hit television series Angel will remember the lovely Kate Lockley.
Kate. Kate. Can you move?
Played by Elizabeth Rome. She was introduced in the pilot episode as a serious, dedicated LAPD detective.
So do I.
LAPD, you have the right to
I waive it.
Who kept crossing paths with Angel, the vampire with a soul. Eventually, she became a recurring character, slowly transforming into an ally and eventually a friend. In fact, you can argue she was the human anchor in Angel's supernatural world, reminding him of justice. But despite her complex relationship with the lead star, she eventually became a beloved character until she entered a very dark place, being exposed to the demonic world.
Daddy, what are you doing down here?
In the neighborhood.
You've been sitting in your apartment listening to that police scanner again, haven't you?
Nothing on cable anyway.
At least when she became disillusioned and almost took her own life, she had a revelation and decided to pursue the right thing. But as dramatic as the episode was, she simply vanished without a trace and was never to be seen ever again. So, what did she become? Perhaps a nun? Or a private investigator? The mystery remains unsolved to this day. As for the real reason, actress Elizabeth Rome became a regular cast member on Law & Order, leading to numerous conflicts in her schedule. Number 8. The Office was perhaps one of the most mundane, yet hilarious television shows ever created. One of the stars, Kathy Sims, played by Lindsay Broad, undoubtedly played a massive part when she came in as a replacement for Pam on maternity leave. She seemed like a great character, integrating into the office culture, and even went to Florida with Jim and Dwight for the Sabre Store project. Things became a little raunchy in Florida when she made a move on Jim in his hotel room. But this wasn't just your typical storyline. It was actually a big deal that caused a lot of tension and proved how loyal Jim was to Pam.
I'm so cold.
It even put Kathy in the spotlight, creating an entire arc. But once the Florida project wrapped up and everyone returned to Scranton, Kathy was just gone. In fact, she wasn't even mentioned ever again, as if she was just some kind of side chick on the Florida trip no one talks about. Perhaps she chose to stay in Florida, or she might have been fired, but all we know is that her disappearance was quite abrupt. The reality is far different, with Lindsay Broad just being hired as a temp, and her arc was always scripted to end after the trip. But the next one is so bizarre, it was a logistical nightmare. Number 9. I'm pretty sure everyone remembers Tori Scott on the hit series Saved by the Bell. While the original Bayside High gang was Zach, Kelly, Slater, Lisa, Screech, and Jesse, the final season was somewhat fascinating. Kelly and Jesse were nowhere to be found, and, in their place, the new Tori was brought in.
Should I be impressed?
Well, most people are.
I'm not.
Tori was the tough girl, riding a motorcycle, wearing leather jackets, and formed one of the most unique dynamics with the rest of the gang that anyone had expected. It became pretty clear that she was cast to fill the void left by the absence of the other two core characters, as she found herself in many storylines, while even attending dances and navigating the complex high school drama. But just as soon as she appeared, she simply vanished from the screen. What was even more confusing was that she would be there in one episode, and the next, the two core characters would be back, almost as if the production tried to add a few more episodes when filming ended. In the end, she didn't even appear at the graduation, with the original gang once again back together for the final episode. Maybe the producers thought that no one would notice, or the ratings got so low they didn't really care to keep carrying a good story. It was later revealed that the production team felt the story was forced and didn't like it, so they just cut her out. Number 10. Our next vanishing act takes us to the Upper East Side with none other than Scott Rawson, a forgotten Gossip Girl family member.
Well, you were right. Your family wants me exactly where I used to be. Except they actually gave me the wheels to get there this time.
Rawson had quite a fascinating introduction, being the love child of Lily and Rufus, who was given up for adoption, but later arrived in New York in season 3. He was subtly trying to get to know his parents, bonding with both Lily and Rufus, while becoming friends with Jenny and Dan.
Your love child. Yeah, not dead. Congratulations, it's a boy.
This was a truly emotional storyline involving family, secrets, and reconnection. Finally, Scott became part of the family dynamic, being not only accepted by the cast, but also the fans of the show. And it seemed like he was going to be a permanent fixture in the New York-based television show. Yet after establishing himself through heartfelt reunions, he suddenly announced he was going back to Boston, but promised to return and visit. But guess what? He never did. Scott simply disappeared from our TV screen, making it feel like he had fulfilled his destiny of finding his real parents. For a show built on family drama, it was rather interesting to see that they simply cut off a main character. Perhaps the studio felt his character arc ran its course, but they could have had him say goodbye. Number 11. Community might not be the #1 television series on anyone's list anymore, but back in the early 2010s, it was a classic. Now, you might know Jonathan Banks better for his appearances in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but at some point, he played Buzz Hickey in Community. He joined the cast in Season 5 as a criminology professor and former police officer, but it was his personality, packed with sarcasm, that made him truly become part of the group and a reluctant father figure. He was literally a source of one-liners and got involved in a few zany schemes like the D&D and lava games.
Hey kids, I'm criminology professor Buzz Hickey, and this is just a little something I threw together.
For the 5th season, he quickly became a main cast member with his signature dry wit and world-weary opinions. But when Community got picked up for the 6th season, Buzz Hickey simply vanished. Fortunately, his absence was acknowledged by many of the other characters, but no explanation for his permanent departure was given, leading many to believe that he might have retired. For a character who had become so integral to the group's dynamic, his unceremonious and unexplained vanishing left a Hickey-shaped hole in the hearts of many fans. It was later revealed that actor Jonathan Banks moved on to a different role in the show Better Call Saul. Number 12. If you ever grew up watching the iconic Boy Meets World television series, you are probably aware of Mr. Jonathan Turner. Played by Anthony Tyler Quinn, Mr. Turner wasn't just a teacher, but a cool motorcycle riding character that served as a father figure to Sean Hunter.
Where are you gonna run now? What do you care? I was beginning to think I didn't care about anything.
The character became a vital part of the lives of Corey, Sean, and Topanga, where he'd offer advice, guidance, and even a haven.
We made it! I admire your dedication, especially since the deadline is 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, we'll wait then.
This made him a central character to whom everyone eventually returned and even became an emotional anchor. But as Season 4 rolled around, tragedy struck, with Mr. Turner being involved in a severe motorcycle accident.
Cut. I don't want to be empty inside anymore.
At the end of the episode, his fate was left ambiguous, but we did learn that he survived the ordeal later. Unfortunately, the character never returned to the screen. He wasn't back at school, nor was he even visiting Sean. The show simply moved on, with Sean's living situation changing once again. No one even knew where Mr. Turner went, or if he simply moved away after recovering. It took decades of waiting for fans to see the star once again, when he was brought back for the spin-off, Girl Meets World. He became a superintendent, which was unexpected given his complete and mysterious disappearance from the original show. He later revealed that contract disputes led to his departure. Number 13. When you talk about a character that carries the same name as a series, it becomes incredibly tricky. Mutt Shit wasn't just the son of Roland and Jocelyn, but a recurring character during the first 2 seasons that fans truly adored. Played by Tim Rosen, he was rugged, quiet, and surprisingly attractive, even having a major storyline with Alexis Rose.
So we're planning this surprise party for my mom. That's totally not gonna work, and I'm supposed to ask you if we can borrow your barn. But if you can't take the night off from betting women, I totally...
The relationship even became a real turning point for both characters, turning them into main stars on the show. But after Season 2, something happened, and by the time the 3rd season rolled around, he was gone. In fact, he didn't feature in Season 3 at all before they brought him back for a final appearance in Season 4. Only then was it announced that he was moving away to harvest pine cones. But in a single moment, Mutt was just gone and never seen again, never even mentioned again. What do you think? His role as Doc Holliday in the show Winona Earp perhaps might have caused scheduling conflicts with Schitt's Creek. Now, the next one is a little different and a massive star power loss. Number 14. Meghan Markle is perhaps one of the most controversial stars of any television show. She had numerous roles, but being tied to the British monarch, she was an actress, playing the lovely special agent Amy Jessup in the sci-fi show Fringe. She was introduced in the 2nd season premiere as a sharp, ambitious agent investigating a mysterious event. She quickly became involved with the main team, showing her intelligence and drive.
Mr. Bishop?
Yeah.
Agent Jessup, hi.
Hi, this is my father, Walter.
Yes, I have a couple questions for you.
How bad is she?
We don't know.
Excuse me?
But she was only a significant presence for 2 episodes, working alongside Peter and Olivia, even hitting at a recurring role. She was truly competent, engaged, and focused on figuring out the bizarre world of Fringe. Once these 2 episodes wrapped up, she just vanished, with many wondering whether she got transferred or simply moved on. The FBI Fringe Division even cut her from existence without a single explanation. But we have the absolute craziest disappearance for last. Number 15. Chuck Cunningham created the first disappearing act of not. It was even coined Cunningham Syndrome at some point. Happy Days wasn't always Richie, Joni, and the Fonz. In fact, the very beginning featured an older brother, Chuck, who was played by various actors, with Gavin O'Herlihy probably being the main guy. He was the basketball star of the family, occasionally drifting through the Cunningham household. His first introduction came during the pilot, mostly doing brotherly things like talking about basketball, colleges, and even his brother's rock and roll dreams. But one day, Chuck went upstairs, with the camera following him up those iconic stairs. That was it. He never came back down, and no one knew what happened to him. Even more worrisome is that his parents, Howard and Marion, didn't talk about him, and the show went on as if they only had 2 children. It left fans wondering if he got into college, or perhaps moved into a different dimension upstairs. But the writers simply felt that the character didn't add anything to the family dynamics, and chose to write him off. It is still the ultimate vanishing act, but at least actor Gavin O'Herlihy openly admitted he wanted to pursue a career in movies. But which actors do you think disappeared without a trace and keep you awake at night? Let me know in the comments below. And if this wasn't crazy enough, check out this video to see the most outrageous way Charlie Sheen left his role, making millions.